Hello, everyone. We are back with another day of ASL. It's Group B this time around, and again, joining me is none other than Mr. Eonzerg. Hello.
Hello, Nyoken. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I'm excited for another day of ASL. I'm excited for Soulkey, even though I don't play Zerg. Soulkey, one of my favorite Zergs because of how good his Zerg versus Terran is, and I know you're obviously super hyped to see him play.
I totally agree. Soulkey is probably my favorite player right now, along with Soma. And like he's a very special player. He is someone that I consider he plays like extremely smart. He's like you can really see like the smartness of his move in the game and the strategies, and it's really cool to see him playing. Honestly.
Yeah, he's really, really good, and I agree. He's also very smart. I always think back to the game of him of Sharp versus Soulkey on what's the name of it? I can't remember. It's one of the blue maps that was in KSL where he only had like two or three drones mining his natural. Sharp scanned and saw it, but actually Soulkey had hidden a third base and transferred drones there, so Sharp thought he was all in. Wasn't. It was a complete misread, and Soulkey just crushed him. So, always a dangerous player. But we also have other super dangerous players. It's the return of Rain, as you can see him on the left. We have Calm on the right side. And then also the return of C, one of the strongest old school Terran players.
Yeah. Um, it's funny because there are some similarities with Rain and Soulkey. I don't know if you remember this, but yeah, Soulkey won the GSL and then he switched to Broodwar. GSL in StarCraft 2. And then Rain actually did the same thing. He actually won the championship and then, I mean, he pretty much stopped it like when he was like dominating, and he switched to Broodwar. And they did fairly well, to be honest. Soulkey won a KSL, Rain won the GSL, and I think he won the KSL as well, if I'm not mistaken. So they are like these new players from the Kespa era that transitioned to StarCraft 2 did well, and then in Brewer also switching back did very well.
Yeah, I didn't remember that about Soulkey, but I did remember Rain switching at the peak of his play in StarCraft 2. I remember when it happened, I was thought to myself, man, that's quite an abrupt just quit and then move to Brood War because he was at the top. Like you said, I mean, he was definitely up there when tournament started. You expected him to go very far, but he's had huge success in Brood War. He's also having huge success as what people would call a variety streamer, where he's not just exclusively a gamer. He also does, live vlogs and stuff like that, along with Calm here, who is also very successful as a variety streamer. So I'm curious to see how Rain will do because he's been gone for a couple of seasons.
Yeah, honestly, to me it's a surprise that Rain is back. Like I honestly thought that he was done for good, but apparently because of the StarCraft universities there is in Korea now that they teach these players, he kind of like his passion is back, and maybe he feels like he need to prove his students that he's still
Yeah,
a force in the scene, and he here we go, he's back in the ESL again.
yeah. The student university system that they had in Korea was huge. Just a lot of people were really interested in that. Got a lot of views. It was always fun to watch too. And also, I liked their ranking system where they had tiers of players, and when they had matches, you're playing somebody maybe not exactly your level, but around your level. So the games were always decently close. Um, I've learned from being around in the StarCraft scene long enough that when people retire, that means they're just taking a break for a little bit. I don't know really of many people that when they say they retire that they're actually done, but I am happy to see that he's here. Now, what about Calm? Like, he's also the same type of thing. He takes a break. He's not as serious with Brood War, but obviously a freaking darn good player, and he's a Zerg player. What do you think about his shots in this group?
I have to be honest with you about Calm. He never been my kind of player. He's not really. He didn't really inspire me as for example, someone like Wanro, for example, was my favorite player back then. But like this calm player in the Kespira, he was good. I feel like he reached a final. Did he actually won that final? I don't remember that. Um, so he was like a top serve back then in the Kespira, but now in the ASL era, he's being more like he's trying to be entertaining to the audience and to his audience on Africa, all of that. So he didn't really show too much, in my opinion, in the competitive aspect. But you can't deny that this guy has like skills. Like if he's already like qualified for the ASL, he has the skills. But at the same time, it's like it's going to be hard for him, in my opinion, to really show us like a crazy performance here. I'm not really expecting too much on him. I'm not really like hating on him. It's just that, honestly, over these years, he didn't really show too much in the competitive aspect of the scene.
Yeah, I agree. I do know that he does play the Pro League games, but he's in K League maybe. I can't remember the second tier league. I think it's called K League. Most of the time, I see him in that type of league. But yeah, it's gonna be tough for him, and it's also gonna be tough for this guy right here. See, even though he's a monster Terran player, I think he's also kind of in the same boat as Calm, as even though he's a really, really good player, doesn't take it as serious as somebody like Soulkey for sure, and Rain. Whenever I see him come back, he just shoots back in skill so fast that I think it's going to be equally tough for C to make it out. But I do think they both have a chance, but it would be... I do think Soulkey and Rain are the favorites in this group.
I mean, from these two, I honestly see, to me, it's actually. I mean, he's actually like someone that. Not many people remember this, but after the Kespa era, there was like a dark period of in the scene that there were like not many players, not many competitions, and actually C was like one of the few top Terran players that was like thriving in the dark era of this scene after like post Kespa, and he was like the top Terran. He was like someone very very high skill. Um, he was like fighting all the time against Killer, and to me, see, I mean, even if it's not that serious, like the guy has insane skills. You need to recognize that. The guy is always like very passionate about the game, and I have seen C playing StarCraft from the beach. That is how crazy he is about the StarCraft. So, um, if I can see someone like getting out of this group, is C for sure. And not because I like him, but he has like really good skills. He's a force in the scene. Obviously, not the same guy from the Kespira that was dominating Pro League, but still, the guy has insane skills.
Yeah, I really do like C. You know, in the past, like a long time ago, when he was part of Liquid, or at least on Team Liquid interacting with foreigners, there was a point where foreigners actually had access to not just talk to C, but actually play with him. And actually, I got opportunity to play with him in a team melee game. Me and Rhett, the Dutch Zerg, we played a team melee versus C. Rhett was the macro, I was the muta microer and the attacker, and well, guess what? We lost in team melee, which is pretty crazy because back then Rhett was also near pro level, but that just tells you how strong C was back in the day. And also, when Flash came back into the current era, they played each other in one of the ASLs, and there was this epic game where there was battle cruisers, like it was split map, 50 minutes, and it came down to the wire. I think Flash barely won, but C had like a really, really close game versus Flash back then.
Yeah, I always remember C to be like especially good in Terran versus Terran, and he could be especially toxic in Terran versus Terra as well. Like he was one of the first guys I saw with like a million tanks in TBC, and Ser just like wasn't really able to kill him. Like he was trading so effective that it looked like impossible to beat Terran.
Yeah, I also remember that. So definitely going to be a tough matchup if we do get a Terran versus Zerg. You know, I really want to see if Rain makes any changes from his Terran versus Protoss showing a few seasons ago versus Light. The season that Light won where he won 3-0 in the finals. Light just looked unstoppable in that series, and I don't think Rain went carriers in like any single game. I think he was content with going shuttles or arbiters. I wonder if he's learned from that, where maybe arbiters aren't the move or maybe shuttles aren't the move, even though shuttles are very popular still these days. I'm curious to see if we do get him versus C here.
Well,
Or no.
I'm not. Go.
I was gonna say, I'm curious to see if he'll mix in a different type of style versus C when we see them in the second match.
Well, I remember that season, and honestly, I don't think like whatever you try against Light,
Yeah.
at least at that specific moment, I feel like it was impossible to beat him. He just looked so good. Like I remember him playing against a series against Bisu, and the first game, like Bisu went Nexus first. Bisu, I mean, he went carriers, he took almost the whole map, and Light was like, no, you are not going to win. I'm going to win you. I don't care. It was cross spawns as well. So, I mean, I feel like that season, I don't really think like Rain made like he didn't play so inspiring. It's just that Light what that season was like. I mean, out of his mind. Like he was like ready to take that championship. Honestly, I honestly didn't see Light playing that good since that ASL.
Yeah, it is true. That season Light was playing out of his mind, and it felt like he was a step ahead of just everybody, and that if he was going to lose, especially in Terran versus Protoss, it was because he had to make a mistake. He had to mess up. And unfortunately for Rain and other Protoss players that season, that just never happened. Light just crushed it that season. So we are finishing up the interviews in just a moment, and then we'll be getting into the games. So our first match is going to be, oh, well, first we mentioned that I think that's the Ask ASL promotion that they do. If you ask a question, you can get what they call a tumbler, which is a water bottle in the US, water cooler. So consider asking a question on ASL for the players, and you might get chosen and potentially receive that as a reward. But our first matchup of the day is ZVZ Eonzerg. You think that Calm's got what it takes to play versus Soulkey? Because every time I watch ASL, whether it's most of the time it's Zero or Queen talking about how bad Soulkey Zerg versus Zerg is, but every season I watch Soulkey play ZVZ, he does very well versus Zerg, so I don't really know what Queen is talking about.
Actually, no, I remember. Like, Calm won an MSL against Wanro. It was a CBC final.
Oh yeah, and didn't you say that didn't you just mention Quanro was your favorite player?
Yeah. I was so sad he lose. now you made me remember that. So actually, who knows? Maybe actually Calm can beat Soulkey here. Like it's been now for years. Soulkey didn't have the best results in CBC in the ASL. Like each time he's looking unstoppable. There is always a third player that is ready to eliminate him from the ASL. Is that Cadency?
That is Cadency. Who's she rooting for? She looks like she's sitting in the Calm crowd.
It's Calm team.
I'm
pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. When I was in Korea, she was always rooting for Calm.
Okay, well, it is true. I do remember Calm being a champion. You know, I am surprised to hear that you're a Quanro fan, because I only remember one game of Quanro, and it's him 4-pooling on a 2-player map. I can't remember who the opponent was, but that guy just did not like to play long games. Like, he was always in your face. It was always an all-in every single time. Didn't matter the matchup.
I mean, did you see any of my games?
You play some big macro games. I see you play big macro. You always get to mid-game with a good transition. You're not all in.
No, but my first years in StarCraft, that was me copy
Oh,
paste
okay.
one roll, like everything, 9 pull speed, 5 primary, and 2 hash mute all ins all the time. That was my thing.
All right, I didn't know that. We're getting a look at our round of 24 group, as you know. Soulkey, Calm, Rain, and Sea today. We've got Snow Killer, Royal, and Shuttle tomorrow, which is going to be a good group. Light, Free, and Action and Effort on Monday. Then Queen, Ample, Sharp, Jadong, and then Rush, Ivory, Bisu, and Stork. And I want to mention this to you now. Oh, I don't see him here. Here, I was going to mention the hero uh, because I was talking to Cruiser, who runs StarCast, and he was telling me that Snow, his Protoss versus Terran, is so good that he thinks it's on Flash's level. And, that's a high praise for Snow. But the reason I mentioned Hero is he was also saying Hero Zerg versus Protoss is up at the level of Flash's skill level. So I'm really excited to see both Snow and Hero, who is in the round of 16 already, see them play in future matches. I'm looking to see if
Well,
there's any.
Hero was being considered like CBP god for years. He's like this is he understood it so well. I don't know if you remember this, but Hero actually won a tournament against Bisu uh, many years ago. He won a championship, and I mean he's always been that guy with an extremely good CBP. But he get to the semifinals and he's a different player.
Yeah, it's like every season he gets to the semifinals. Like I can almost guarantee you that he's probably going to get to the semifinals this season, and then just something happens that prevents him from making it to the actual finals. Like if we look at his ASL runs the past like 5 seasons, he's literally every single time in the semifinals. So
Well, Nyoken, yesterday you told me that there was a Lita season, and now you're telling me, well, you never know.
yeah, you never know, man. Well, I'm looking to see if there's anything that I can understand from this graphic about being, the last dance, like you mentioned, and it was mentioned on this graphic yesterday about Soma, where he may be going to the army soon. But I don't see anything other than it seems like it's the return of old school players. I saw something about season 5 and season 8 mentioned there. We are about to get into our game, though, and there's Soulkey. He's got over 50% win rate in Zerg versus Zerg, which is always impressive. And just like Hero, his best matchup is also versus Protoss.
Yeah, indeed. I didn't know he had like such good stats in CBP. I mean, honestly, like against Sterling, he's not even looking that good.
Yeah. Well, over 53% win rate. I mean, that's still freaking good, man. And especially in ASL where you're playing, I'm sure he has a lot of matches versus players like Light Royal, Flash, right, who are just killers in every single matchup as Terran. We're getting a look at Calm stats, as we mentioned before. And Calm, even though he's an amazing player, doesn't play in ASL that often. You can see he doesn't have that many games, but does have a 66% win rate versus Zerg. However, it is only across 3 games, so take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah. I mean, that is scary, 66% in CBC. I am starting to think like maybe Soulkey is going to be lucky to win this.
Maybe. He may have something planned for Soulkey here, like something super special. What's our map today? Do you remember what our first map is?
Not really. Yesterday was Apocalypse.
Oh yeah, Apocalypse. It should be the same map as our starting map, Apocalypse. So it's a 3-player map, and in ZVZ, if somebody can get lucky and get the first scout off, that can be a huge advantage. So maybe luck can be on the side of one of these players.
Andy, and who is going to risk to do, I mean, a 9 pull or overgas or 12 pull or 12 hash? I don't really know. Like to me, Khan doesn't have anything to lose. He can do everything. And Soulkey, I expect him to play more conservative and trying to secure the win.
Well, since we were talking about Quanro earlier, and I remember him being mega all in. Maybe I hope someone goes for something like a 5 pool followed up with a sunken rush, you know? Like go for something mega all in and just try and end the game. I don't know if that's an actual reasonable build in Zerg versus Zerg, but something crazy like that I would love to see. And I remember last season, the 9 pool speed builds, like every time we saw it, they seemed to be successful. I remember a lot of hatcheries getting knocked down or getting canceled at least.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I honestly, like, it's weird because to me, like, a 4 pool or 5 pool build these days is so useless because the amount of times you go 9 pool, that just like shut down super hard the. I mean, even with 12 pool, you can hold a 5 pool. So it's like, it's very, very rare that I see a 5 pool like working.
Yeah, I do agree. You know, I was kind of just memeing with that, but when I do see builds like that, I do get excited because you know that like this is the only attack that this person has. If it wins or if it's successful, it wins the game. If it's not, you know, there's no transitioning out of it. But looks like our players are about to be ready. Yeah, they are. So let's get into game one. It is going to be Soulkey versus Calm on Apocalypse. Okay, in the mid left, we have our red Zerg player. It is Soulkey, and I already saw that Overlord from Calm. It's going the right direction. He's in the mid right, and he is going to find Soulkey first with his Overlord.
Yeah, first scout for Khan. You know, first scout in CBC is so important. It's actually important. Like you can actually like be doing the same build order, and you just like you have all the advantage because of first scout.
Yeah, he's going to find him very quickly, and also, I think the Overlord would be at least towards the natural by the time something like a 9 pool completes, so he would be able to see Lings come out and would be able to respond appropriately. So this is already a great advantage for Calm. Okay, so in the past 3 seasons, we can see Soulkey made it to round of 8 twice,
Oh,
then got
9
third.
pool.
Ooh.
9 pool. An
Okay.
Overlord for Soulkey.
Uh-oh. So what do you think this is going to be? You think this will be a 12 pool from Soulkey? Could this be 12 hatch or 11 hatch?
I mean, I honestly I feel like Soulkey he's going to do a 12 hash.
Yeah, I also think it's going to be the 12 or 11 hatch, and the fact that there is no movement. Oh my gosh, there it is. So this could be it. We're going to have
It's
a 9 pool
11 hatchery. 11 hatchery actually.
Yeah, so we were talking about 11 hatch yesterday versus Terran, but what's the difference here between an 11 hatch versus a 12 hatch in ZVZ? Like, can he hold this, or is this still
It's possible.
doomed?
Actually, it's possible. You need to defend with drones, but it's actually possible to hold with an 11 hatchery. You need a crazy micro. You need some luck in your side. But it's actually possible. Like 12 hatch, you need to cancel it. 11 hatchery, I see it possible to hold. But don't make mistakes. It's still a really good build order for Khan.
Yeah, now to me, this natural seems like a little bit larger than other naturals that I've seen, like Sylphid, for example. So I feel like speed is going to really be tough to deal with here. Here come those Lings, and he knows, obviously, that where Soulkey is. So he's just really happy to see this opener, and he's going to get there ASAP. Oh.
Soulkey is going to be shocked to see these 6 Zerglings. I ask myself if he's going to bring drones to defend or Maya Sunken, to be honest.
Alright, well, I do see Soulkey is mining gas. If he pulls drones from his mineral line, you know, he's going to be mining with basically nothing on drones. Okay, he's not pulling at all.
Nyoken. This is all. This is the game, Nyoken. You need to actually defend this hatchery.
Okay, he's pulling. Okay, I see he pulled off the gas. That's what I was about to ask, is can he afford gas while pulling? And I feel like the answer is no. Those are some good drill. Oh no, one got picked off instantly.
I think he's going to hold Nyoken. No, never mind. He loses the hatchery.
And speed kicks in so he can just run away. Oh my god, this is like the worst it could possibly have gone. He loses one drone. He pulled 8 of them. He's not mining gas. Speed kicks in. He now can run by these lings whenever he sees an opening and try and go for some drone kills. This is just going to be so difficult for Soulkey to recover from.
Okay, how many Zerlings, how many drones did he lose? Like
1.
2 or 3? 1?
Yep, just 1. I think it was just 1.
Okay, since Carl made Ling speed first, Soulkey can actually reclaim his suspension. He can actually make that suspension and actually like make spores on time on it. That is going to be fine. But like tech wise and eco wise, this is going to be a really hard game for him to come back.
Well, I don't even know if he can hold this attack. I think Soulkey's cut lings to get this faster hatchery. He also does not have speed. I think this might just be over. That's a good arc from KwarK right there. And look, he has an overwhelming amount of lings. And now this game is moments away from ending. He's going to lose his hatch again. And he has nothing to follow up with. Like, there's no lair, there's no spire, there's no evolution chamber. So surprisingly, KwarK, he is going to take game 1, and he's already in the winner's match.
GG. Wow.
That is...
Wow, huh?
Go ahead.
I'm so shocked right now. But, Soulkey already starting... I'm going straight to the loser matches. Oh my god. And Calm winning the first game. This ASL group just got super interesting.
Yeah, it got crazy because now there's potential where, like, let's say C wins versus Rain. Then all of a sudden, we've got potentially Soulkey versus Rain in the losers match, which is also going to be very exciting, but also very, very hard for both sides because Soulkey's EVP is amazing, but Rain, he's a god, not just in StarCraft 2, but also in Broodwar.
Yeah, man. Good game by Column. Honestly, yeah, his CBC is looking sharp. He made no micro mistakes, nothing. He really punished Soulkey hard. Like, for a moment I thought Soulkey will hold the hatchery, but no. He actually he finished it.
Well, I remember you asking how many drones did Soulkey lose there. And when I mentioned 1, you seemed to be okay with it. Like, say I was the player 9 pooling, and I have this situation happen to me. How many drones do I need to kill where you think I will win the game? Like, is it 2 or 3? Do I need more than 1?
Well, I wasn't really talking about like winning the game, but just like try to at least to fight back because when you lose a hatchery, that is a big deal, and if you lose more than 3 drones, it's almost impossible. But if you lose 1, at least you can fight your way back. Even like play with the spores, go to hive. That is something possible.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, this moment, like the drill looked pretty good, but you can see one of them gets stuck right there at the back, gets picked off. He pulled 8 drones, so he's like not mining at all. Focusing down this hatchery, I was a little bit nervous because the flank from the left side was coming in and the drone drill on the right side, but nicely done from KwarK, and we'll be going into a break. And we are back. We just saw Calm take down Soulkey in a really, really quick game. Very deadly 9 pool speed versus a 12 hatch, unfortunately, for Soulkey. I think this is the Ask ASL thing that I mentioned earlier. But we've got Rain versus C coming up next. It's going to be a Terran versus Protoss again on Ascension.
Apocalypse.
Oh, sorry. I was like thinking Ascension's the same as Apocalypse, but yes, on Apocalypse, not Ascension. Yep. So as I mentioned earlier, Ask ASL. If you've got a question to the players, you can post it on the Afrika homepage. If you get chosen, you can potentially win a tumbler, which is a thermos. So definitely, if you've got something that you want to ask, consider posting it there. Oh, and again, it looks like they are selling... Oh, I thought it was going to be the jackets, but it looks like it's going to be a mouse pad, which I don't think I've ever seen them sell before. So if you're interested in that, definitely check it out online.
Yeah, I probably need a mouse pad.
Yeah, it said, I think it said Jung pad, so I'm not sure if that's actual mouse pad or if it's some other different type of mouse pad or other different type of pad, but yeah, it'd be cool to get an ASL pad. You know, my Evil Geniuses mouse pad that I've had for like 15 years, it's getting a little old, man. Need to consider getting a new one. We're going...
I'm a bit afraid to change mouse pads, to be honest, for something like crazy like that. Because I've been using like Razer or HyperX mouse pads like for years.
Yeah, it is true that once you get used to something and you're a serious player, a lot of serious players don't want to change their gear because they don't want to go through that transition period of changing their stuff. And also, even whatever they get may not be as good as what they currently have. So I understand that feeling for sure.
Okay, I don't know if you saw that, but Rain has like 84 win rate in PvP.
PvP? That's pretty
Yeah.
nuts. That's pretty surprising. You know, I was expecting to have like an 80% win rate versus Terran. I don't know about PvP, but you know what I am also shocked about is this win rate for Seed. That's a 60% win rate, and that's over 20 games. That's quite a lot for ASL. So this guy clearly a beast in PvP.
This guy is so dangerous. By the way, in a best of one, this is probably one of the most dangerous players in the ASL.
Oh yeah, for sure. I remember, you know, or at least people remembered in the past, Flash was like a big cheeser originally, but this guy right here, even though he can play the big time macro, he can also mix in plays like BBS, especially if he finds a map to be, you know, a little bit too hard, or, you know, he thinks that this guy might go for a 12 Nexus. So we could see something like BBS. I'm not sure if there's buildable terrain on Apocalypse in the center of the map, so maybe not this map in particular, but you never know.
Yeah. Honestly, I would probably favor Rain in this series, but C is dangerous for sure.
Yep, definitely a dangerous player, and we are ready. It's time to get into game 2. It is going to be Rain versus C, and again, it is going to be on Apocalypse. Okay, in the mid-right position, we have Rain. And in the top middle, we have the return of one of the best Terran players. It is C. Now, I do notice that both players got positions that allow for mineral boosting, so definitely going to be able to optimize their builds as effectively as possible. Yesterday we saw some aggressive plays from Mini. Not sure if we'll see like a forward gate from Rain here though.
Yeah, talking about boosting, I don't really see Rain doing it. But whatever, I want to mention that Rain is one of the most methodical players there is in the scene. Very smart player as well. He seems to know every detail about the game, every timing. I have here that he spent hours just analyzing all of that. So it's really cool to see him playing. And at the same time, I don't really know how he does it, since people say he doesn't play too much, but his mechanics are also like very crisp. He's like very clean player. So yeah, I'm really curious what he's going to bring to the table this time.
Yeah, for sure. And we get a look at the match history between these two players, 1-1, and their most recent game was in Season 6. So it's been quite a long time. And we do have normal gas timing for Protoss. We've got normal gas timing for C. So it is going to be 12 gas versus just normal play for Protoss. I guess the only real deviation we're waiting to see is how many Zealots Rain ends up building, if he builds any at all.
Nyoken, about the positions, what do you like about these positions for Terran?
Well, other than the mining, what I do like about top middle is you can see what I do like about in general the changes that they made for Ascension is, or for Apocalypse compared to Ascension, top middle seems to have a lot more building placement availability for factories and stuff. On Ascension, it was really hard to find places to put down your factories, like in a good position. So I do like that for C, that he's gotten top middle and it's a lot more open than I remember on Ascension. For Protoss though, I don't really see anything that I see different from Ascension. It looks just normal, but we do have first Zealot moving out and it has avoided the SCV, so this could be tricky. If you think that Protoss only built a Goon and they show up with a Goon plus a Zealot, the game can just be over in a heartbeat, so C's gonna have to be very careful.
Yeah, but he's not really saving on Marines right now. So like he can for sure to deal with that one Zealot. It's not like it's two Zealots and you know, like maybe 2 or 3 Marines. So I don't think this is going to do too much, but you never know. Zealot micro sometimes gets tricky.
Well, I do like the factory and racks position. There's a gap between them right now, but the gap can be filled with a single depot. So I like that fact where if he does need the depot, he can put it down. And I am very worried because these Marines are very far forward. This is going to be the Goon Zealot combo, and he didn't even do anything about the probe. So this is going to be really tough to spot. Luckily, he's preemptively built a 4th Marine. He really needs it. He needs to pull SCVs too.
Yeah, but he's going to kill the SCV, stop the CC, I mean, this can do damage.
Yeah, he's in trouble. Like, this is already starting to get crazy. And he at least takes down the probe, but he lost 2 Marines! This is what I was talking about. You really got to know if the Zealot was built in this matchup, and he just didn't know, and he's taking so much damage. Another SCV falls. Zealot in the main. He can't micro his SCVs and micro the... can't micro the Marines and micro the SCVs at the same time, so this is going to do catastrophic damage.
Well, he finally killed that
Oh,
Zealot.
no!
No!
Oh, I don't know if he was trying to cancel the bunker or what he was trying to do there, but that can happen when you think you've selected the SCV, but you actually select the building and escape, and he canceled his command center along with all that. That's 100 minerals down the drain, and not only that, Rain saw him do that, so he knows he's at a huge advantage now.
Well, to be positive here, at least he didn't left the game like Hydra did against Noni, but oh my god.
Bunker's dead. Oh my gosh. Okay, he gets a Goon, so he gets 2 Goons. So that's finally a good trade to get back into this game, but this is such a tough scenario for C. You look at the supply, it's actually surprisingly close, 30 to 29, and because he's building Marines, like, he will have an opportunity to go for a counterattack, especially since he took down the 2 Goons.
Yeah, for sure, he committed with his Dragoons Rain, and now one of them is almost dead as well, so... And C knows he's a pro gamer, he knows the units that there are in the map, he's not afraid to cross the map now and try to do some damage, because he wants to pay back.
Yep, well, high ground here. Oh no, he took a big shot there. He's going to lose one of the tanks, and unfortunately he's focusing the Goon that has full health as opposed to low health. The goons on the high ground, they just are able to get free shots while taking almost no damage. Look at the control he puts off that mine at the same time. And what, 3 goons held this attack so easily.
I'm not really sure why he's still committing.
I think he knows that he's got to get damage done. Like, he lost so much in the beginning, now he's lost 2 tanks. If he doesn't try and get damage done, it's going to be almost hopeless for him to come back. So I don't mind the commitment there, but he lost everything. And look at that main. He has so many SCVs that he lost in the beginning that he's really not even effectively mining his main anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, him killing these 2 dragoons already, I don't really feel like he needed to commit so bad. Like, he even lose vultures that they have mines. They didn't even use the mines.
Yeah, it was a big commitment there, and he did lose a lot, especially to just 3 goons. Like, we saw the supply was close, but he doesn't know that, and also we saw that it was a 3-gate follow-up. So it was a lot of resources that Rain spent into defending it, but yeah, it ended up backfiring and not working out at all. Rain is going to transition this build into a 3rd Nexus, into Observer, just safe play. I didn't notice a support bay there, so I'm not sure if Reaver's actually coming or not.
Okay, Rain tier started, so, like, eco-wise, oh wait, there is a vulture in the natural. There is a vulture in natural, and there is nothing to defend that.
Well,
But Rain attacking at the same time, bro.
yeah, speaking of nothing to defend, well, there's 1 tank and 1 vulture versus now 3 goons, and he is just walking in, soon to be 6 goons. He just taps out, and unfortunately, the losses were just too big in the beginning for C, unable to recover with his counterattack, and that means we do have Calm versus Rain as our winners match.
Wow. I feel like there was so much potential that didn't really unlock in that game for C. He even canceled the CC, so what can be worse?
Yeah, I've only seen that a couple times. I think it was 4GG either canceling his factory or canceling his command center in one of the seasons, like 6 seasons ago. And like once that happens, you're just on mega tilt. I think what C did with his response was exactly what you should do. Like, that's your only chance to come back into the game. But unfortunately, attacking into high ground, it was perfect defense from Rain, and of course controlling the goons was immaculate too. He made sure that the one that had full health was the one that got targeted by the tank, and it was just great defense from him.
Yeah, that is going straight to YouTube. That is going to be a new meme.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody from C stream is going to clip that and troll him on his stream in the next coming days, and I'm sure he'll have quite the reaction to it.
Wow, what a game, man! What a game! Like, Rain was so decisive with the attack as well to finish it. Honestly, that is not really easy to do and to take that decision. That can backfire. Like, honestly, if he didn't do any damage and the version from C just like keep killing workers, that would be so hard for him.
Yeah, like the goons had not necessarily just popped out, but they were in the center of the map, and there weren't any more goons coming for a few more seconds. So you're right, it could have racked up a lot of kills. What I find unfortunate for C is, as you saw at the end, he had siege mode. Like, imagine if Rain does that when siege is set up. He would have lost a lot of goons. He may have ended up killing all the tanks, but he would have lost the majority of the goons. C maybe could have scrambled to get down a depot to kind of like SimCity off a little bit. And then we could have had a game on our hands, even though Rain still had a 3rd Nexus. We did see C was trying to transition into a normal game. I remember the Armory going up for him. So yeah, it is a little bit unfortunate for him that literally if Rain had waited 5 seconds, I think he could have transitioned a little better into a normal game.
Yeah. He even like made a micro mistake when he was fighting up ground against the Dragoons. He didn't target the Dragoon with the low HP. Like, I asked myself if he actually forgot there was like one with very low HP.
Yeah, if he had gotten that, it would have been dangerous for Rain, because no way he would have tried to fight with just 2 goons on high ground. He 100% would have retreated, and then we would have had like 3 or 4 Marines plus 2 tanks plus rally vulture support trying to fight near the Nexus. And if you get mines set up, that would be a dangerous position because I don't think observers were out. So yeah, just a little bit too much luck. Not necessarily luck, but unfortunateness going in Rain's favor. But that means that we actually are going to have Soulkey versus C as our losers match. And we were talking about how strong both of these players, Zerg versus Terran and Terran versus Zerg, is. There's a real chance that one of your favorite players could be eliminated very quickly, Eonzerg.
Yeah, there is danger for sure in a best of one. I'm still confident Soulkey is going to win.
I am also equally confident, but we're going into a break. Just a heads up, we can't show the ads, so that's why you're seeing the StarCastTV icon, but we'll be back in just a couple moments. Right, we are back. We're about to get into our winners match, which is going to be Rain versus Calm. We had a Tempest ban from both sides. And again, we're going to have Invader as our winners match.
Interesting. We're going to have a CVP. Yesterday we saw some against Mini and how tricky it is to spend on this map. Um, something I've seen very often from Calm Games is that he likes to do 973 quite often. I asked myself if he's going to try that on this map.
Okay, that could be something to look out for. I don't think we see 973 that often in past ASL seasons. Do you know why that is? Because, a couple years ago, Queen was talking about how 973, if they go Corsair, the game's over. Like, that's how strong he was saying this build is, and now you just almost never see it.
Um, I feel like Protoss just like with the amount of games they play in, they just like got used to it. They are so good now defending that. They don't really save on cannons anymore. They even like they time out when to start the cannons, and if the Corsair gets in the route of scouting and don't see any hydras, then they cancel the cannons. So yeah, just overall the scouting as well. I don't know if you realize this, but these days it's actually so hard to kill a worker from a Protoss. They got so much better at saving a worker and being active with it in the map. So I feel like that is one of the reasons. Like also the Dark Archon transition they do is also really deadly. I don't know. I just feel like they have so many tools now to deal with 973 that it doesn't really justify anymore to do it.
Okay, that makes sense. And you mentioned Dark Archon. Is Rain somebody that goes Dark Archon? Like, do you think we're going to see that?
Well, Nyoken, to be honest, Rain is not someone like super active in Prolis or
Oh, yeah,
any
that's
of
true.
that, so I'm not really sure have like too much data on that one. But I have that is something I have seen from Base, Mini, Snow. That is that kind of play I have seen from them.
Okay. Yeah, I have seen Best use it a decent amount. And, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there is one game that I do remember a few years ago that Rain did go Dark Archon. But it wasn't for the reason that you're thinking, which was Maelstrom. He skipped going Robo and Observer, and what he did was he mind controlled an Overlord for vision to detect lurkers and just overran a Zerg with mass gateway units and Overlord. It was pretty nuts.
Wow, like you don't see that very often.
Yeah, like when he attacked, I'm like, dude, what? There's lurkers here. And then all of a sudden the Overlord was his. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
I have seen Protoss players go as toxic as doing a late game with only Archons and stealing all the Zerg units, stealing every Ultralist, Defiler,
Yeah.
Lurkers, Overlords, like everything, honestly. And then like stealing a drone, and then they will come their own Zerg units as well, like Mass Mutas. It's kind of insane what the Archon can do when it's like properly used. I have seen even in PvP like a Protoss guy doing the Archons and stealing all the carriers from the other Protoss player.
Yep, that's the main reason that carriers are not used at all in Protoss versus Protoss. Other than, of course, getting to carriers is really hard to do. But if you were to get to them, there's just so many counters, and mind control is one of the absolute best counters. You just instantly take it. It is so hard to deal with mind control. I would love to see it, but it's just not as common as Corsair or whatever. So I'm not sure if Rain will pull it out. But our players are ready. Let's get into our winners match. Can Calm do it? Can he make it out in first place, taking down Rain too? Let's find out. Alright, in the bottom right, our Protoss player, it is Rain. And in the top left, our Zerg, it is Calm. So we've got the same spawns as yesterday in the Soma mini-series. Running it back, man.
Yeah. Um. I I'm going to call it. Um. maybe maybe Calm is going to do hatchery first. I also have seen from his games that he actually likes to do hatchery first in his games. But you know what? If Rain does like a cannon rush or something, I don't know how easy or hard it is to defend on this map.
Okay. Even on a 2-player map, you think that it's likely to see the hatchery first? Like, he's gonna get there and with a probe like ASAP. Like, look, it's already halfway across the map. Well, we'll see. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Probably no. Maybe he's just going to do overpull.
Okay. Well, there goes that drone. Looks like he was intending to put down the hatchery, but now that he intercepts the probe, oh, look at this.
Oh, he's mind game.
Yeah, he's mind gaming that this is going to be pull first, and he actually got off the first shot. So there's no way that the probe can fight one-on-one. Nice. Oh, the control is nuts, man.
Yeah, he's not getting in that main, but he's going to place the hatchery. No? Yeah. Oh, he's going to block again. No way.
Wait a minute. Look at this. This is a low ground hat. Oh, he actually got there in time. I thought there for sure he was not going to get there in time. So that was well done from Calm there. However, the probe does scout off to the left side and does see now that it was a hatch first.
There is no freaking way he's planning to do 2 hatcheries before pull, right?
I don't know. We did see a cancel on the forge from Rain, so he can get his nexus down, and he got the probe! That's absolutely amazing!
He's going to do 2 hatcheries before pull! Are you kidding me?
Well, this is not something you see every day. So Calm, he came to play today, man. He is not messing around. He is playing very aggressive in game 1 and now has massive eco going into game 2. He must know that this is going to be a forge follow-up from Rain, and he's right, so he's going to get away with just huge econ.
Oh my god. That is crazy, honestly. By the way, when you do this, I don't think like layer timings and all of that is going to be really like in a normal game. So that is all that tech is going to be delayed. But eco wise, this is going to be like a heavy game, and if it actually start with hydras as well and force the Protoss to do cannons, I mean, his eco is going to be insane, and on top of that he's going to force the Protoss to do cannons.
Yeah, I guess one good thing for Rain is that he did cancel his forge, go straight Nexus. He does have a gate coming down, and he does see that, hey, this was 3 hatch before pool, so that means he can just go straight into cybernetics, similar to how Mini played a few seasons ago. So his tech is going to be really quick. Well, he didn't. He ended up building a cannon first.
I don't really understand why he's making that cannon.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, because he saw that the pool just completed. Maybe the rush distance on Invader is shorter than I thought. I thought I remember reading in the graphic it's like a 32-second rush distance or 29-second rush distance, which doesn't seem any faster than other maps. Now, we do have 2 on gas, and a drone was pulled off. I thought we were going to have
he's gonna make link speed, maybe?
Well, he does have 100 gas. There's a 4th hatch.
Oh.
4 hatch Hydra. Okay. Is this all in? Like, he still has a lot of good...
It's not even all in. This is just like mass eco. Like, honestly, like, he's going to have like 6 hatcheries like at 5 minutes probably. This is so much eco for... I mean, at least now Rain's comes and he does a lot of damage with a silo that from Calm apparently he missed it.
Yeah, this is highly unusual, and the Lings get a good surround, really good micro right there. Doesn't lose anything. However, the probe does get in, and we'll see that this is 4 hatch before lair or anything. Good stutter step micro, and now Rain knows what's going on. Hey man, you're not playing lair. This is going to be big eco, big Hydra count, and wonder what his response is going to be. I'm looking in the main of Rain. I see he's still going Corsair though.
Yeah, I feel like Calm is falling a bit apart here with the multitasking.
You say that, but the control on the drones is pretty nuts. He only loses 1.
Hydras are out. I mean, I'm not really sure if he's going to a second gas. that early? Did he make lair? I didn't see if he made lair.
I don't think he made lair yet. There's no lair yet. So,
Okay.
we've got second gate coming down for Protoss. Protoss did a decent amount of damage, forcing out some lings and getting a drone kill. What makes this dangerous is Calm could all in. He could go 5 hatch or 6 hatch like you were saying. He could do a whole bunch of things, and Protoss is in the dark right now, but still has to respect the potential for the all-in. We see that it is going to be a 5 hatch follow-up, and Corsair is going to spot it instantly.
Yeah, he's like, honestly, he's forcing Rain to make cannons, and he's not even like trying to attack, so that is cool. But the eco-wise, this is like an insane game. The saturation at 6 minutes, this is so rare. I mean, Calm is in a very advantageous position right now, as far as he can even like rush for a 4 Spectrum as well.
Yeah, he definitely could. He's got so many Hydras. There's no way Zealots can attack. There's only 4. And Rain hasn't even upped his gateway production. Okay, there we go. He's going up to 4 now. I see Templar Archive already done. Actually, the 4 gates are quite quick. Already starting it at around 6:45. Corsairs, I think, have picked off 1 Overlord, but ends up finding a second one. And Calm is supply blocked, or was supply blocked, so this could be punishing.
DTs are out, Nyoken, and that tier expansion doesn't have units and doesn't have an Overlord either.
Yeah, he's got that slow Overlord coming in. However, there is a DT moving across the map, and uh-oh. Okay, luckily, he is splitting the Overlords up. I saw there was no detection at the 3rd base. Oh my god, he's just going for it. There's no speed kicked in, and remember, there's an Overlord. Oh, the Overlord's way too far away from the Hydras, so I'm not sure if he'll end the game because there's a DT, but this is doing a lot of damage. DT at the 3rd base, racking up a lot of drone kills, too. Oh, he's gonna get it. Dude, we may be moments away from this being over. Those Templars don't have energy. There's only 1 cannon remaining. However, there is absolutely nothing to stop the DT. Corsairs are killing everything.
But he's breaking the natural.
Yeah, he's busting the natural. Oh, those are move commander of rallied Hydras. The DT gets into the main. Is there an Overlord in the main? Oh, there is. This might be done. Templar dies. There's nothing. There's no cannons. Calm. He's moments away from first. There it is.
GG. This guy just went 2 out of this group.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Soulkey, he's so good these days. He takes him down with an aggro opener. And then he said to Rain, you know what? I don't only all in, man. You gotta respect the big time macro. Brought out the 3 hatch before pool. Great mind game with the drone. And he hit him right before storm. Absolutely amazing.
Rain was so sure there was no more Overlords. He was like patrolling all the area. And he killed even 2 Overlords, I believe. And there still was a tier 1 coming. And he was able to finish the game that way. That honestly, that is insane. What the pillar order, what he did with the drone early on, denying the scouting, killing the worker, making the 2 hatcheries before pull. Like honestly, that was a master class.
Yeah, that was really, really great. And I liked how he brought out a cool build on a map that's really close rush distance, especially versus a player that probably hasn't really seen that type of build in a long time, and it just worked to perfection. When the DTs did get into the 3rd and natural, though, I thought to myself, really? Is this how it's going to end? A single DT wins the game for Protoss? But the Hydra count was just too overwhelming. There was no counterplay to that single Overlord, and he just pushed to victory. I'm curious how many kills this DT got, because it felt like he killed just 1 billion drones.
He actually did a lot of damage. I was just thinking, like, probably Rain, of course, the first thing you think is like defending the national. But what if he actually just like pull up and try to defend at the ramp and save time for the High Templars? Maybe like with the DT damage, that was actually like a favor trade for him.
Yeah, we're I hope they click that DT, man. I want to see him have just 20 kills or something. But this was awesome. I think the observers even clicked the Templar archive, and I didn't see Storm upgrading, so I'm not even sure if the Templars even had Storm at all, or if it was already done. But regardless, it didn't matter because they didn't have energy, and you're just not going to kill these Hydralisks. So well done from Calm there. He makes it out in first place. Absolutely crazy. I don't think anybody was predicting this.
Yeah, for sure. I honestly thought that Khan will come here just to show a bit and he go home, but I mean, he's going to be back in the next round.
Yep, he is definitely going to be back, and that means that we have now 2 Zergs into the round of
That guy is
16.
going to be a show in that the ceremony group.
Yeah.
Like, Calm is really funny.
Yeah, he is quite funny. So that means we have 2 Zergs in the round of 16. Still 1 Protoss. We still have no Terrans, man.
It's so funny, bro. Like, Calm right now probably think, oh, I actually went 2 out.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And obviously a lot of fans there. I think this is the most fan reaction I've heard in ASL. Look, there's even people standing up. Like, there's not enough chairs. So that's how big Calm is in the Korean scene right now. He has a lot of supporters. So I'm really happy for him because in the past, you know, in the olden days, he was one of the superstar Zerg players. So it's really nice to see that he is back in top form.
Well, remember there is C, Rain.
사실 제가 남은 게 지금 머리밖에 없어서 머리로 어떻게든 이렇게 또 한 타이밍 잡는 빌드 2개 잡았다고 방심하고 있을 때 한 마리 더 숨겨놓는.
Well, hopefully we're back right now. My OBS just died randomly. I don't know what the issue is, so I'll have to investigate my computer hardware. Maybe I ran out of space. I don't think so, though, so sorry about that.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. PCs.
사실 이번 시즌 조지명식이
Yeah,
목표인데.
I'm checking right now to see if my drive ran out of space. No, I'm still good, so I'm not sure exactly what went wrong there, but we're back. But anyways, as I was saying, I'm really happy that Calm did well here because he's such a monster. I remember I have fond memories of his play in the olden days, and he's looking very dangerous and very strong. Also, the fact that he pulled out different styles, like the all-in and also the macro style, gives me hope that he'll do pretty darn well this season.
I mean, you know, they call him Brain Sir.
That's true, man.
He's a very smart player. He has like many strategies in his book. And I mean, that game against the Protoss player, against Rain, that build order, I didn't see that coming at all. I was expecting a maximum, maybe a 12 hash. But wow, 2 hatcheries before pull. And then the transition he did, and like, yeah. He had like Rain in full panic. Like, Rain was actually making cannons before he needed them. So yeah, Rain didn't imagine at all the third player was going to do that.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that the probe didn't get in when the drone got pulled off to build the first hatch. Like, when he sent another drone down, I'm like, there's no way it's going to get there in time to actually wall or block the probe from getting in. But it was perfectly timed and allowed him to get away with just a killer build. And also, he killed the probe, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So
like, that did. You know how hard it is to block a Protoss worker? They are so in good shape, fit, 6-pack. They can, or they always go in.
yeah, it is really, really hard. We're going into break. We'll be back in a minute. It is now time to get into our losers match. We've got La Campanella band and then Invader band, and that leaves us with Tempest. So this is going to be our first Tempest game of the season, and it's going to be a TVP, Rain versus Sea.
Yeah, Tempest is one of these maps with a really weird design. So many places you can go, but so many high grounds as well you can get into, and it can be so dangerous. This is going to be a crazy game, but in my opinion, it kind of favor Soulkey, because I don't think like C play this map so much, and for a Terran player to not be like so familiar with the maps is always like hard for them.
Yep, my mistake. I mentioned C versus Rain. It is actually C versus Soulkey. You're right. Terran versus Zerg here. We do have high ground naturals. That's one of the interesting features of Tempest. Because there are high ground natural and not very much buildable terrain, do you think it's likely we could see like an 8 racks, or is that just kind of off the table since there's not really a lot of area to build a bunker, or you know Marines could be potentially fighting into high ground versus drones and lings?
If I'm honest with you, like I feel like in this map, like ARACs can go very well when they are like in specific positions, but if you get like, it's a 4 players map, right? So if you get like very far positions and with all these high grounds and all the time travel, it can get tricky to do ARACs on this map, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. I did go into this map and do a couple of single player games to get a feel for the terrain. Even though there is high ground and it looks like it can be wallable, it is not a complete wall, I don't think, at really any position. So if we do see a fast expansion with some type of wall, it's going to be a semi-wall. But curious to see what C will come up with, because this map does have a lot of bases that are really close. There's a lot of high grounds. And whenever I see maps like this, I do think that mech could be decent. We'll see if C thinks the same way. It's time to get into game 4. This is our losers match. So whoever loses here, they're out, man. And in the top left, we have, or in our bottom left, we have our red Zerg. It is Soulkey. And then in the top left, our blue Terran, it is C. And luckily for Soulkey, he is sending that Overlord in the correct position this time, so he will get a instant read on what's going on.
Yeah, Nyoken, I just realized, honestly, that one of Soulkey or Rain is not going to make it out.
I know. It's crazy to think about, man.
I mean, Calm really shake this group up, man. Wow.
Yeah, and he played well too. He deserved to make it out today. He was just playing super well. Now that is a fast SCV being sent out. And it is not at the ramp. Okay, what's this for? Is this 8 racks? 9 racks? It's an 8 racks. Well, unfortunately,
but it's a huge gamble to do this.
Yeah, it is a gamble, and unfortunately for him, it's not in the direction of Soulkey. So this is going to be an 8 racks, but it's going to take him forever to get across the map. And also, unfortunately for him, Soulkey does see him in the first position, most likely.
And Nyoken, if Soulkey commits and get the Overlord in the main, he can actually get the Overlord for free.
That is true, but that means that the Marines aren't going across the map. So in that scenario, would you be okay with that? Oh my gosh!
Oh my god!
Whoa! Whoa! That is a huge mind game. However, as a Terran player, I will say that Rax is about 7 seconds late. So if Soulkey is really on top of his game, he may be able to figure out that something is up. But this is, I don't know if I've ever seen this. So this is going to be really hard to figure out.
If he kills that Overlord, Nyoken, with an SCV and Marine combo, there is no way for Soulkey to hold this.
Well, the thing is I don't think he's going to try and kill it. I think he's going to let it survive, and then he's just going to show up with like 8 Marines when Terran's only supposed to have like 3 or 4. Could be wrong. You could be right. But that's what I'm imagining in my head that this is.
Actually, Soulkey playing it safe, sending the Overlord back. He's going to scout at the CB. So yeah, we will see. If Soulkey, like, he's going to need drones and everything to hold what is coming, for sure.
Yeah, and the Overlord didn't poke in at all, so this just looks normal to him. Like, this doesn't seem unusual at all. And he's not sending the drone to scout either. Oh, he actually does loop it around.
For some reason,
okay.
I feel like Soulkey smells something because he's like still active with that drone.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, if he intercepts the Marines? No way. Does he?
No
wow,
way.
No way. No way he
No.
sees all the Marines. Oh, he already
This
knows.
is-
Instantly goes to his natural. Oh, there it
This
is.
guy's on a spider.
Oh, I can't believe that drone scouted that. He instantly puts down a Sunken. You know, to deal with Sunkens, you actually only got to get it down to 100 health when it's a colony, and then you one-shot it when it morphs into a Sunken. Wasn't able to get it down that low, and you could actually see had a little bit of reaction there. He may realize that this has already been scouted. Can Soulkey hold, though? That's a lot of links. It looks like he is going to hold. Oh, the SCVs.
SCVs are killing the Sunken.
Yep, that's really good. Really well done from him. But the Sunk is just so strong, and unfortunately, this had to be a killing blow. Can't transition out of it. Even though Soulkey pulls so many drones to save it, or to save his base, that means that this is probably the end of C's run in ASL.
I think so. I don't really see, like, well, it's not Sunken. 62 HP. I mean, it's still a lot of HP to deal with.
Yeah, C's gonna play it out because this is his last life, of course, but there's nothing going for him. There's no academy, there's no gas, there's no command center. The only thing he can hope for is, again, just building up a decent amount of Marines and then trying to drill across the map. But he doesn't have vision for that anymore, so I don't know what he's gonna drill on.
Pulling the boys.
Yeah, I think this is what you gotta do. This is all he can do.
Yeah, but Soulkey made a second Sunken, a tier Sunken even, so I don't think this is going to work at all. Sadly for C. I mean, that drone with Soulkey, that was key. Without that drone, I feel like Soulkey was dead.
Yeah, 100%. Without, just exactly what you said, without it, he's 100% dead. And this is going to be it, guys. C, unfortunately, just doesn't have enough. The Sunkens are way too strong versus Marines. GG comes out, and he is going to be out of the ASL.
I mean, that was some spider sense right there. Like, that drone was so, like, that was so good. I don't know how he did that, by the way. I don't know exactly what actually, like, he feels like something was wrong, that he just, like, keep scouting, and he found it.
Yeah, like I said, the racks, the second racks in his main was a little bit late. Maybe he thought, wow, that Marine got to the natural a little bit slow. But again, I've played this game like 20 years. I don't think I've ever seen an 8 racks into a mind-gamed second racks into your main to make it look like 1. I don't think I've ever seen that. So, yeah, I hope somebody does a translation once, if we get a Soulkey interview on how he knew C was going for that, because 100% I would have never guessed.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, without that drone, I'm pretty sure, like, Soulkey, we will be talking like Soulkey went out 0-2. But, well, now he need to fight Rain, and we will see what happened, because 2 monsters are going to fight each other.
Yep, and this is going to be... yeah, this is going to be 2 superstars facing versus each other. Unfortunately, one of them is going to be gone. We're going to find out in a couple moments. We'll be back. And we are now going into our last game of the day. Who would have thought it would have been Soulkey versus Rain? Yet here we are. We've got a Polypoid ban coming in from Rain, followed up with a Dark Origin ban from Soulkey, and that means that our final map of the day is going to be Retro.
Wow. That, you know, like, Soulkey was eliminated from the last ASL on Retro. I remember that. JoJ
Yep.
killing him with 2 starports. But you know, Retro is like, against Protoss especially, it's like, it's more chilling. I don't really expect them to play super aggressive.
Yeah.
But we will see. It's for sure like, it's going to be a battle. Like, it's almost like Godzilla against Kong here.
Yeah, I've seen some epic games on Retro in the past couple months. There was one with Best, and I think it was Soma. Came down to the wire. And then again, there was another Soma game, completely different style though, where he literally didn't attack. He just sat there, built so many drones, built so many hiders, and then just crushed the Protoss players. So let's see what Soulkey comes up with here. And I also want to see what Rain comes up with here. What do you think about openers from either side? Do you think we'll see 973? You mentioned it earlier from Calm, but what about Soulkey?
What I have seen mostly on Retro is that players tend to do either 11 hatchery or 12 hash. But this being a decisive game, I've already asked myself if Soulkey is going to play some overpull. I don't think 9 pull is too common. So yeah, I'm not really sure. Like, hatchery first is like common build on this map, to be honest.
Okay. Well, in the top right, it is none other than Rain. And in the bottom right, our Eonzerg, it is Soulkey. I remember last game, even though it was a 2-player map, Rain did go for Forge as an opener. Wonder if he'll try that again this time around, or if we'll finally see some gateway play.
Yeah, I feel like one gate opener is also better. Like, I mean, what map is not good, but yeah, it's good on this map as well. Can be annoying. There are good positions to place the Silhouette as well, so I think this is going to be gate first, actually.
Yeah, I think this is also going to be gate first. Going back to the main, probably to mine one time the mineral patch and then come back down and build that gateway, and there goes that probe. So this should be a gate opener. If it's anything else, I would be very surprised. And it is not just going to be a gate opener, it's going to be a 9-gate opener. So really focusing on...
Sadly for Soulkey, Rain is scouting first here. Soulkey doing overpull, okay.
Okay, so how does overpool play into 9-gate compared to like 10-gate, for example? Is it like a big difference? Oh, look at this! Soulkey sent his overlord the wrong direction, or the other direction, I mean, and Rain ends up going to bottom left.
Wow. Nice mind game. But at the same time, well, this actually, like, what it's going to do is that Rain, he doesn't know exactly what Soulkey is doing, and maybe he sent a Silhouette and he sent a Silhouette out, because when you are playing against Overpool, you don't really want to like send Silhouettes to trade, because it's too risky and you can lose games right away against Masterlings. So let's see. Actually, oh my god, Rain is actually like scouting last.
Oh, now he turns around. He realizes he's been duped, and he will go and find Soulkey at bottom right. Now, I think Rain is probably intending to build at least 3 zealots. We'll see how many he actually ends up building. First one's already coming across the map. It gets intercepted by an overlord.
Soulkey is hiding Zerlings.
Good read from Rain there. I don't think he saw that drone, but suspect the drone could be over there, and he will intercept it. And actually, I think he may have even got that first shot off, so the drone's got to be careful. But at the same time, look at this impeccable micro from both sides.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, he almost kills 4 lings without losing his zealot. And
But
luckily,
he's still attacking.
well, yeah. If I had stutter step micro like that, I would keep attacking too. Look at the control, just crazy. Okay, he does lose
Yeah,
it.
but now he's losing 2.
Yeah, that was an overstep, and Soulkey lost no lings in that trade, so that was a big mistake from Rain there.
And he's still attacking.
Yeah, this feels like an oopsie, accidentally sending it across the map and not paying attention. Back in Soulkey's main, he hasn't started mining gas, at least not just yet.
You know what happens now is that Ser makes so many Zerlings that Protoss can't hold anymore.
Yeah, there's a double gap at the top side with the gateway and between the forge and the pylon. And Rain, of course, he knows that, so he is going to build a cannon. But right now, he's just got a single probe, single zealot at the top, and just a zealot at the bottom side. Okay, there, he should have enough to hold this now.
Yep.
Really well done.
Soulkey trying to put some pressure here, but looks like the aggression is over. But Hydra then for the third player. I don't think he made Zerling speed, right?
Yes, no speed. He just started
Rain's
mining
playing
gas.
so aggressive this game. I'm surprised.
Well, he's got to be careful. If Soulkey's going for a Ling Hydra bust and you bleed off 2 more zealots, you could be in big time trouble. So hopefully he doesn't overextend with these zealots, otherwise his life might be over in just a few moments. We've got another probe moving out. The Lings are slightly out of position, so maybe it can get into the main.
I think he's going to cash it.
Well, when you see Zerg does not have speed at 5 minutes, does that tell you anything? Or well, you're not Protoss. I guess what I'm wondering is, should Soulkey have speed by now, or do you think Rain can figure out that something's going on? Okay, there it is.
He should have a speed by now. Do you see Rain already like attacking? Wait a minute. There is Zerling speed as well.
Yeah, it just kicked in. I didn't realize that he had started upgrading it. Kills the cannon, but Zealots are going to continue to counterattack. That's a pylon. That's not even a cannon.
But do you like Soulkey has to make more Zerlings to defend this silhouette, right? Rain is not even attacking. He's going to retreat. So it's actually Soulkey made Zerlings for no reason. That will be funny.
Yeah, that's a really good play from Rain right there. Just move into the darkness, make Zerg worried that you're going to attack, and now back off. And if we look at supplies and just overall game state for Zerg, it feels like Soulkey's in a bit of trouble here. He's got a decent drone count, but he doesn't have any tech. He also used a lot of larvae on those Lings, and there's still no Hydras out, so I don't know what his plan is right now.
I don't think there is transition from this, to be honest. He's probably waiting for range and going to go with Hydras, probably a very strong Hydra or in with Zerlings. But I feel like this is it, honestly. I don't think you can transition from this.
Well, if he's... Oh, he caught some of the Zealots out of position. But if he is going to go for an all-in, he needs to do it right now because the Corsair's coming in. And he is going to see that there is no lair. And that means that this is just a 3-hatch Hydra bust.
Well, actually, he has a lot of minerals. Like, maybe he actually transitioning from this. Okay, never mind. I thought that he didn't have that many drones.
Okay, so he does have a 4th hatch coming down. No 5th hatch just yet. Rain not panicking. He does have 4 cannons coming up. That's a lot of Lings, though. And here we go. This is going to be the combo attack. Ling Hydra, he pops the first cannon. Only 1 remaining. He has range, so he can knock that down, too. Is this another bust? This turned into way more Hydras than I was anticipating. The range really helping him get those cannons. Another cannon's gonna fall. There's only 1 Zealot remaining. Luckily, 1 cannon does complete, but there's still about 9 Hydras here. If the Forge dies, that's it. He won't be able to build any more cannons. Oh my gosh, this is it?
He's doing Nyoken because I don't see how Rain can hold, and Soulkey is not even like going all in. GG.
Wow, Soulkey hits right at the perfect time when the cannon count was still low. He had so many Lings that they were able to buffer a lot of Zealot and cannon shots. And unfortunately, again, another Hydra bus is going to end Rain's game?
Oh my god, Rain is going to have nightmares today with the Hydra bust.
Yeah.
Even if the first one was in a very different way, it was still a Hydra bust. I mean, honestly, I feel like he played too aggressive with the Zealots. Like the first time, like, he tried so well, but then he just like keep committing. I'm not really sure why. Um, but yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting League Speed from Soulkey either. So he actually hit and killed the cannon and forced Rain to bring all the workers to defend. And on top of that, Rain didn't even commit to go to Soulkey main. He just like stayed in the mid right and then retreat.
Yeah, and look at this timing. Right when speed's done, right when range is done, he just attacks immediately. And if he had waited even 10 seconds, I think these cannons get up in time and he holds, and he would have been in a good position. So well done from Soulkey there. This Sim City really seemed to be backfiring for Rain. Like, look at these zealots. They're just bouncing around. They're like not even getting into the Hydras to soak up shots.
Yeah, they are blocking each other. Yeah, I asked myself if he actually like he tried to put the shields out more to save more time and get the cannons ready. Will that make a difference? But it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it would have, but it does suck to, a move and then only one of your units actually gets through that tiny choke. So unfortunately, Rain, who we had high hopes for this season, he is going to be eliminated, but I know that you're very happy because your boy Soulkey, he ends up avoiding elimination.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm happy Soulkey made it, of course. But wow, that was close. I was playing on the edge. Like even I can see with that drone scout that saved him. Yeah, that was really close for sure.
Yeah, and even though all the games were really short today, kind of cheesy, at least they were interesting games, right? Like we had the 9 pool, then we had the 3 hatch before pool. We also had the clever build, like you said, with C. And then also this game was quite interesting too, because I thought Rain did a good job with his zealots in the beginning, forcing out so many lings, but still Soulkey was able to overcome.
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly like when I saw that many servings and everything, I was like, well, how do you actually transition from this?
Yeah.
That is a lot of larva going into serlings, and serlings are not even that great either. So, like, if you actually invested all of that in hydras, I can see that being like really good. But yeah, apparently he had like a really good drone balance, and he was even making a 4 hatchery. I don't think he could afford like the 5th hatchery either, but I mean, I'm not really sure. Like, if he actually like he didn't kill Rain like in that specific moment, I feel like still Rain wasn't like in a really good position, like eco wise.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Well, that is it for Group B. Of course, we're having an interview with Soulkey right now. Group C tomorrow, if I can remember correctly, is going to be Snow, Killer, Royal, and Shuttle. Tomorrow, guys, Eonzerg will not be casting with me. It will be Body. He's going to make his ASL debut. I'm looking forward to that. But do you have any thoughts on Group C? Killer's in there. Do you think he's got a shot versus Snow, Royal, and Shuttle? That seems like a death group almost.
Yeah, it seems to me like that is one of the most strongest groups for a player like Killer, to be honest. Yeah, I think my prediction was like Snow and Royal to advance. That was like my prediction. I don't think it's going to like Shuttle is going to have like a hard time, and Killer as well. I don't really see a way that for Killer to getting out of that group.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely difficult. We're getting a rundown how today went. Calm gets out in first place. Then we had C with an interesting build in the losers match that Soulkey caught at the last possible moment. He gets past C, and then, of course, as you all just saw, taking down Rain in the final match, he moves on. And again, we still have no Terrans into the round 16, at least from the round of 24 groups. Tomorrow is going to be Snow, Killer, Royal, and Shuttle. Actually, for me, game of the day in that group is not going to be Snow versus Royal. And the reason I say that is I think Shuttle, for some reason, is damn good versus Terran. And I'm very excited to see him face off versus Royal. I think Shuttle's got a really good shot, especially if he can fight Royal twice to make it out of the group.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I honestly have the feeling when I see Royal against Shuttle, like it's like for Shuttle, it's like a wall to hit, you know. But I mean, it's ASL offline, you know, best of one. All of that matters, to be honest. They like imagine like you were like in the train going into the studio and you have some issue, like you got in a fight, you probably lose your mind already for the match.
Yeah. Snow also is going to be a great matchup if we can actually get him versus Royal. Snow, I think, has the best Protoss versus Terran right now, like just in terms of general playstyle, like going into the Goons, into the Reavers, into the Carriers. But we were talking about Light earlier in the cast, about in that season he looked unstoppable, but at the time I had seen a lot of games of him versus Shuttle, and for some reason Shuttle was just bringing it to him, man. Like Shuttle was actually keeping pace, also busting Light when he tried to split the map. Like it was really impressive play from him.
By the way, Nyoken, if we get to the point of like imagine Royal advancing to out and
Yeah.
Snow against Shuttle for the last game, the PvP.
Yeah. Anything
Who
can
do you
happen.
think win?
I think it's tough because a lot of players are just flat out good in PvP because they're just good with Reavers. Like every Protoss player is good with Reavers, and you know PvP is generally all about Goon Reaver. However, I think Snow has the best Goon Reaver control, so I would probably favor him in that particular matchup.
Yeah. Yes, it's going to be a good group. Anyway, what doesn't matter what happens because Royal is such a strong player. Snow is in such a strong form and he's being a very strong player for years. So we will see if this is actually the time for Snow to do a really good run.
Yeah, every season I have high hopes for Snow, but something just holds him back, whether it's Flash in one of the finals or he gets knocked out in the round of 8. I'm trying to check how far did Royal go last season. Do you remember? I'm trying to look.
Honestly, I'm not really sure. Like round of 8, maybe.
Yeah, I feel
No. Royal was eliminated in the in the second group stage.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He built a group for himself and
Yeah.
he lose against Queen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and I think he lost versus Shine too, if I remember correctly. Remember that game on
Shine.
Sylphid? Yeah.
Yeah, with the drop, lurker drop with Muta.
Yeah, so you know Royals looking for redemption this season around. He's a very, very strong opponent. I guarantee you he will not underestimate his opponents this time around. I think he was going into it thinking like, okay, I get to pick Shine. That's just going to be a free win for me. But that was not the case. Shine played absolutely bonkers in that series.
Yeah. That the strategy he did, we didn't see that coming. At the time we cast the game, we didn't see that strategy coming at all. And it worked so well, by the way. It's very rare. But well, guys, we are saying goodbye to this group. And I hope you enjoyed the games. Nyoken, thanks for having me. Like always, it was a pleasure. And good luck tomorrow, man.
Yep, thank you. And remember, guys, tomorrow Eonzerg not going to be here. We're going to have Body, so definitely tune in. It's going to be an exciting group, so I'll see you there.